It is Tuesday, February 11th, and let's talk about our love for the game. And welcome back in for another episode of the Love for the Game podcast. I'm your host, Reed Napier. We have a jam-packed show for you today. Before we get started, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow us on X, Instagram, and TikTok at LFTGPod01. Also, remember to check us out on Apple Podcasts. It'd be really appreciated to hear your feedback over there as well. So today we're going to be starting a new series that we're going to be covering over the next few episodes of the podcast, and that's going to be coaches with the most to prove in the 2025 season. And today we will be starting with Billy Napier. Billy Napier returning in 2025 for the Florida Gators with quarterback DJ Lagway. A lot of momentum coming in at the end of the 2024 season. A couple ranked wins over LSU, Ole Miss, and beat Tulane in their bowl games. So a couple of solid wins for the Florida Gators coming in at the end of their season. And Billy Napier finishing with the 11th ranked class in this past 2025 cycle is a very, very good job done by that staff and Billy Napier. But they have the same problem as last season. They have a gauntlet of a schedule to start the season. Long Island and South Florida. South Florida is not a pushover by any means. But at LSU on September 13th, September 20th at Miami, October 7th at Texas, and the 11th of October at A&M. Those first four games for Florida are going to be crucial coming into early next season. Also adding on to the fact that they didn't really make any additions in the portal. They had 5 commits through the portal. So they're really relying on the core group of guys that they had last season. And DJ Lagway is going to be the biggest factor to that because of him being the lead starter. He's not having to go back and forth with Graham Mertz this time. So it's definitely going to be a huge chance for DJ Lagway to make himself known throughout the college football landscape, put his foot down, and help Billy Napier secure another winning season for the Florida Gators. Our next topic today is a question I saw proposed on that SEC podcast. Shout out to the boys on Twitter, or X, I guess. And it was a question they proposed. It was Lane Kiffin against Brian Kelly and who they would take now. And based on the stats I've provided on screen, if you're watching on YouTube, it's basically going over their complete resume from this past season, including their recruiting classes and transfer portal additions. Now, as you can see, Brian Kelly has been very successful at LSU, a 29-11 record and 3-0 in all bowl games with LSU so far, but has not gotten over the hump into the college football playoff, which I think is a huge key for LSU. You know, I think this is a make or break year for Brian Kelly, honestly. With his lack of success in the postseason, now, although he has gone 3-0 in the bowl games they've played in, they haven't gotten into the college football playoff yet. So I think it's a make or break year, especially with the roster that they have, with key additions of Nick Anderson, a wide receiver from Oklahoma, and Barry and Brown, who could be a stud wide receiver from Kentucky. They added 2 stud cornerbacks on the outside as well, and Josh Thompson and Braylon Moore, 2 interior offensive linemen to help out that group. It's a make or break year for Brian Kelly, honestly. But then Lane Kiffin, who has been blowing up X in this offseason and postseason over Ole Miss being left out of the college football playoff, although I do not believe that they should have made it at all based on the record and the resume that they had. Finished 16th in the 2025 recruiting cycle, got 1 5-star and 10 4-stars, but ended up with the number 2 transfer class with a staggering 22 incoming transfers. Now, some headliners of that group are Harrison Wallace, a key contributor to Penn State's receiving core last season, coming over to Ole Miss. Traylon Ray from West Virginia, another wide receiver. Deuce Alexander, a third wide receiver from Wake Forest, and a couple other interior offensive linemen to help out that group. Lane Kiffin doing another good job in the portal, but I fear that they could be Florida State this year. And I only say that because they're relying on the portal once again, which Florida State did last season, and you saw that the output that they had on the field. So I definitely believe that Ole Miss could end up as a Florida State this season, relying on the portal like they did, and I don't think it could translate on the field. Now, Lane Kiffin could completely prove me wrong, and Ole Miss could be competing for an SEC title for all I know. But they definitely need to clean up on the bad losses that they had from last season. Examples are Kentucky and Florida, and they lost to LSU where they were leading majority of the game and gave up a touchdown within the last minute of regulation to send it to overtime. And LSU ended up winning the game. So, but then the contrary to that, LSU also had some very bad losses. First game of the season against USC ended up not being a very good team record-wise. A&M on the road was a bad loss. Bama at home got blown out, and then on the road at Florida lost as well. So if Brian Kelly can get over the hump and get into the playoff, and Lane Kiffin can prove that he's not truly relying on the portal, also with the 16th ranked recruiting class, I think both have the potential to be really successful coaches this season. But if I had to pick who I would take as my coach tomorrow, I would be taking Lane Kiffin only because he has a better track record, in my opinion, over Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly has more head coaching experience, but Lane Kiffin has the experience of being an offensive coordinator at numerous stops, the key one being Alabama under Nick Saban. So I would have to lean Lane Kiffin in this instance, but this is definitely a make or break season for both of them for the various reasons that I've discussed. And our final topic today, in the surprise X post that I saw earlier today, Matt Patricia apparently had an interview with the Ohio State Buckeyes over their defensive coordinator spot. And I think this could be a very good get for Ohio State if they end up landing him because of the success that they've had in the past over Jim Knowles this past season and his pedigree and experience throughout college football. And this could be similar to Bill Belichick at North Carolina. Matt Patricia, obviously multiple time Super Bowl winner with Bill Belichick with the Patriots. And Patricia brings experience, brings a winning culture, a winning mentality, and that could be huge for Ohio State, who lost a lot of their senior leaders through graduation and being done with eligibility. And Caleb Downs having to step up as the leader now of that defense with Sonny Styles returning as well. It could be huge for Ohio State to land Matt Patricia, who's another figure in that locker room, in that building, that brings more winning pedigree to Ryan Day's staff. I think could be huge for Ohio State to land a defensive coordinator of that magnitude. Now, I know this is going to be a shorter episode for you guys. I just wanted to put out something really quick. I will be traveling the rest of this week into early next week. So we might be doing a on-the-road episode. I'll keep you guys updated with that. Make sure to follow on X at LFTGPod01 for all the up-to-minute updates for that. And I appreciate all the support you guys have showed so far in the episodes. It's really been beneficial and really motivational to me to keep going, keep pushing out good content for you guys. And I really appreciate all feedback that you guys give on any and all episodes. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe on all episodes. Follow us again on LFTGPod01 at X, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm your host, Reed Napier, and I'll see you guys next time.